Shalom, shalom, July 10th, 2022. What's good? What's good? Um, Babylon Review. This is kind of partial my part two, talking about silver, how you can preserve your wealth. This ain't financial advice. This is just spiritual advice so that you can be prepared to thrive during the last few years of this age. Speaking of this age, this is the end of Abe Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, may he rest in peace, who was a Prince of Yin or Governor, Prime Minister, same titles, same roles. Um, he was the architect of what we have, or what we call modern monetary theory, um, implementing the plan, not coming up with the idea, but implementing the plan in Japan. Being that their debt, they printed so much currency that their debt is up to 128% of GDP or something like that. And uh, you would think that we watching them do what Germany was trying to do in Weimar. Those who know what happened with Weimar Germany, and their economic collapse, we thought that they would go into the same hardship that they did in Germany. But this is not that game. This game is eight ASEAN nations using their currency to prop up the dollar. And every time they do that, no, not prop up the dollar, prop up the Federal Reserve note dollar. Okay? I want to make sure we know a distinction between what is a real dollar and what is a currency, Federal Reserve note dollar. Okay? Two different things. They propping up that currency, the Federal Reserve currency. And the more that they do that by buying treasury notes, the more they do that, it causes the rest of the world to be in imbalance. Meaning that they need more dollars, right? To be able to buy certain stabilizing goods for their nation. Some grains, metals, uh, gold, cotton, commodities. They need dollars to buy commodities because that is what uh, most of the world is measured in. Not real money dollars, but Federal Reserve note dollars. Um, Currency that can be manipulated. So for the rest of the world, it's hard for them to be able to acquire the things that they need to rise up their living standards because they have to chase the dollar first, and then they have to turn over those dollars to purchase those goods. And if it gets out of reach for them, uh, it becomes a hardship. That's what you see in Sri Lanka, Guyana. For many people, talking about you going over to Africa to escape the United States. Um, what happened in uh not Sierra Leone, but Cambodia. What happened in South Africa with their currency. So just last week, um the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, got together and said, look, we're going to weigh our currency in a basket. Meaning all our currencies will be equal. And this is a great time because silver is on sale. If you're using the link in below, the Onyx link, set yourself up an account and purchase you some silver. I think right now the silver that they're um, that we're purchasing is the South African rand, 1 ounce silver, or the Cougar rand. Okay, because it's cheap right now. You only need, if you measure other currencies against gold, it's cheap right now, and gold is looking real good in other nations. For my passport friends. Um, Shinzo Abe, that's the end of this era. That's another warning sign that the dollar is finished. When the queen, this is my next warning, when the queen is called to the throne of heaven, that is the end of this church age dispensation. Okay? And that's when the real fight will begin for the believers, both Muslims, Christians, Jews, those who are keeping the Sabbath day. That's when the real fight is going to start. Because there is no, there is no force after the queen who will not be a global tool or elite for the Vatican power. Prince Charles, Vatican power. Prince Williams, still under Wales. Or the Bilderbergs, that group, financiers in the banking system. Prince Andrew, we already know what happened with him. The Queen chastised that. She took care of that. Russia, talking about they might cut off Germany from oil in 90 days. I don't like that. I don't like that because that will put us right at the crux of the Feast of Trumpets. And that is not a good look. Hold on, excuse me. make sure I get the dates right. Let me see. Feast of Trumpets will put us at September 25th. Okay? Feast of Trumpets will put us at September. I need to put this right here anyway. Excuse me for that. Feast of Trumpets, September 25th. Okay? That puts us at a trumpet, refuge, final day. Okay? Feast of Tabernacles. Feast of Booths. The ingathering. We have to prepare as much as we can right now. The economy is in shambles. I know you're seeing on the news that Biden's going to help with the oil. Your government is focused on Ukraine and Taiwan. Ukraine and Taiwan via China. Okay, they have a problem. China not buying any treasury notes, or not a lot anyway. Russia is not buying any treasury notes, and they was cut off the SWIFT system. You have other nations looking at what the United States did to Russia, preparing themselves financially and economically, storing up goods in their house and not sending them out into the world, which is the unfolding of Revelation when it says no more buying, no more ships traversing back and forth in the seas of Babylon. I'm paraphrasing, but that's an ongoing process that will culminate once America is chastised with fire. Okay, or rather, the whole world is brought into chastisement with fire. Israel and Iran are at the brink. Last 2 months, Iran turned off the lights, off the eyes on a nuclear facility, and they haven't been having no negotiations since. Negotiations is over. It's done. Anything we get now, right? Any kind of false peace we get now is just a small window of easement for the world. So if we get a false peace with Iran, Israel, Turkey, Russia, United States, we get a false peace, cool. If we don't, we know that peacetime is only a pause between the Battle of Armageddon and the return of His Majesty Yeshua HaMashiach. Thank you for your 10 minutes of your time. Link in the description below. Comment, question, share, like. But I thank you, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful week. Shalom.